from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today, I'm very pleased to have with me Alex. Alex, thank you very much for joining me. If you can, a little bit introduce yourself and tell us about what you are doing.
Thank you, Mehmet, for inviting me. Happy to chat. So my name is Alex, and I'm the co-founder and CTO at Eli.io. And we are building the next generation video editing tool to create videos powered by AI avatars. So the core of our technology is talking avatars, where you can actually write some text and choose the avatar, and avatar will say what you just wrote. You can choose language, you can choose voice, and so on. So basically, it's all about creating videos with avatars.
That's great. And thank you for being on the show. So, Alex, my first question is really I ask, about your journey. You were in the web development, and then now you are a co-founder and CTO of OpenAI. How do you decided first to be in this domain, and then why you decided to be in the AI space?
Um, I started to work in IT maybe like 10 years ago. And that was basically all my passion through all my career, because initially I started to work as a web programmer, web developer. So basically, I never worked anything except of like creating software. And I really like building products, and except of just working as a developer, I also tried to launch different businesses, startups. It was not that popular back that time, but still I tried to launch some online businesses. And maybe around 6 years ago, I launched a software agency because I see a niche, I see a demand on that. And basically, I grew the web development agency like to 40, 50 people, and it still exists. It's working, but still my passion was to create my own products. And I never give up with this idea, creating something new. And AI definitely is a game changer. And I believed in AI even like 5 years ago when I started tried some other solutions, other companies. Basically, because I see this is something that's really disrupt different industries, real world industry. So I never worked, for example, with crypto because it's not my type of products. I didn't see the case for myself in it, but in AI, I always seen a potential, and I've seen like different ideas and how really it can impact businesses. As a technical guy, I could imagine that, yeah. And exactly about Eli, so I was looking for different ideas, working with different people, maybe like 2, 3 years ago, and ended up with researching different technologies. And specifically, I found this technology to change the lips of the person according to audio, and found that really cool. And I thought that it could be really beneficial to create educational videos. So when you don't need to actually film anybody, but you can just type text. And this is how this idea started. So I talked to my co-founder Vitaly about that, and he also liked that. And yeah, we both agreed that it is a good idea and started to work on that. And this is how it turned into what we have right now.
That's great to hear about this. So, like, I'm interested for the audience because, now AI is everywhere. So, And it's like a revolutionary, platform converting, or generating videos just from text. So how this technology works, if you can, walk us through the process, and what makes also like your platform stand, from other platforms in the same niche, I would say.
Mhm. Yeah, so the technology works. So it's different steps to create the video. First one is we need to create audio. So turn text into audio. For that, maybe your audience already know about platforms like 11 Labs or Azure Text to Speech. And we've got integration with more than five, I think six already, six platforms that create audio for us. So we don't specifically focus on audio because it's totally different AI technology that's we don't want to spend time on because we then will lose focus from video creation. So as soon as we have audio, which we use our partners for, then we needs to create a video. And for that, we film real people. So all our avatars are made from real people, real actors, which actually behaves and they talk on the camera when we film them. And basically after that, we just put audio on recorded video of the actor. And this
Hmm.
is new video when this actor is talking with a absolutely different voice and different language. And after that, of course, also a huge part of what we do is actually the video editing tool where we can add all other stuff on the video. So except of the actor, you also need like text and images and other videos on this. And then we combine all this into final video basically. And what specifically is interesting about Eli, and it's pretty unique technology and our competitors don't have it, is a story. We call it story editor or AI story builder. Basically, it's a tool which looks pretty same as Medium text editor. So you just work with text and then we automatically turn this text into slides. So basically, we help editors to create visuals without even like working with visuals. So you as an editor, you can just upload your text, you can copy paste it or upload from any other document, and we help you automatically put it into different screens and create the video. And it's also powered by GPT OpenAI technology. So basically, you can enhance or create from scratch your text and then turn into a video. So basically, fully automation process of creating the video.
That's great, Alex. Alex, now the question is, just, maybe by the time I would be publishing this episode, so it will be like maybe 2 weeks since, now at GPT or OpenAI, they announced that now you can tune your own models. So how important this to help you actually in, customizing your product in a better way? Like how this would help uh, not only from video creation perspective, but in general also, if you can shed some light, because people are very excited about this news.
Yeah, I also had a deep dive to this specific niche as well to work with large language models. And this tuning is basically it's I would say it's not that game changing as it could seems initially
Mm.
because as it's working right now, you just I just checked the email from OpenAI yesterday and I've seen how it works. So basically, initially you can do the same just with prompt engineering. So you create prompts with different steps, and you basically help the system to learn about some business or help OpenAI model to understand what the exact output you would need. So that was all possible before. The big thing here is that you wouldn't need to send all this information with each request to OpenAI.
Mm.
Now you can just do it initially and fine tune your own model. And then any other requests you do, it will already know all this previous information that you fine tuned your model with. So it helps you to reduce tokens that you use for each request. And basically for large scale model is different and it's different. It could be really game changer when you really need a large language model to know about specific niche or business or like specific use case. In our case, I didn't think yet about how it could impact our business, because still like this
Very
OpenAI enforcement is like 5% of what we do, right? It's not our core technology, but still, I think in future we might use it and we might fine tune the model to work better with video or like with specific niches and specific topics of the videos, for example. So it's developing pretty rapidly. So it's lots of things to be changed for sure, and we might use it as well in future.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, Alex, one thing that people usually, of course, these things are very cool. And maybe up to 1 year back, it was kind of if I tell someone, hey, I will give a text to a software and it will create a full like video scene for me, maybe they will laugh at me. But now here we go, and it's a reality. Now, one of the things that people are a little bit worried about is maybe from ethical perspective about the misuse or maybe spreading misinformation. So how do you think, as someone like you are a builder, you are in this part of this revolution, I would say. So how we can balance between creativity and at the same time keeping, like this technology doesn't hurt someone, right? So what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah. So from the first days of our launch, we had basically, from my perspective, it's of course a part of responsibility on us as a like service provider as well. And that's why from the first days, we always thought about, okay, how could people misuse this? And that's why we provided moderation of the content. Specifically, this is applied to all the videos that people create with our actors, because actors are real people and they don't want to be involved into some misusage of videos that were created with them as a people. And basically, if we're talking about actors that we have on our platform, we have a policy which doesn't allow our users to create any type of content. So a
Hmm.
specific case which doesn't. So we actually invested in that, and so we have an auto moderation. Then we have manual moderation, which we basically control what kind of content people create, so they don't misuse it. Also, if we're talking about custom avatars, which also a part of our technology. So for example, you yourself can create the avatar with yourself, right? And then you can basically do more videos with yourself as a, you own your own face, right? And then you can create any kind of videos because it's your face, and basically
Yeah.
you don't involve any actors, you don't hire anyone else. And if we're talking about overall technology, of course, I think the providers like us will control it and will make it not possible to misuse the technology. But of course, open source part it's also going to be developed, and this is you cannot really control. So as soon as you
True.
use some open source tools, nobody can control you, and you can do anything you want. So that's could be maybe a part of YouTube or other platforms that actually stream the video for them to control the content, and they will then see how this content is spread and what exactly is in the content. So I think all players on this like journey of the video creation and video distribution will take some part in this. Yeah, and so YouTube might add some AI sign on the videos when avatars are used, something like that. So I assume it's going to be in the future, and it's going to be half of the videos with not real people. And YouTube, for example, will just mark these videos as artificial, and it's going to
Hmm. So
work.
they will tag. They will be able to put tags maybe there. Actually, I've
Yeah,
seen
like
like some like watermark. Some providers they put watermark and they keep this watermark on purpose so it doesn't get used. Now, what are the industries that you are seeing more adoption in AI video generated content? Like, of course, I've seen like maybe education, but have you seen like adoption in other industries as well?
So, as you mentioned, you're correct. Education is basically the biggest market for now that's adopted this technology already. So it's both like B2C education and also corporate education, and it's was already widely used in this sector. Except to that, we also experiment a lot with news. For example, creating videos where there is no real human that is talking about some news that's happening in the world. And there are some other things which is not that wide. For example, like different applications or different use cases when you need to make a personal video to somebody. And in this case, you can use avatar instead of the real human because it will reduce your costs and so on. So it could be, for example, healthcare with recommendations. It could be basically anything that doesn't need that where you need the video, where you just need to tell about something, right? And in this case, avatars videos are pretty well rep for now. So for now, the only niche that you cannot really use avatars is where you need to give emotions through the video because avatars still cannot give you emotions in the video, and that's why you cannot use it right now. But in the future, I think that's AI video is going to be with emotions as well.
Ah, that's great. Because I wanted to ask you, like, well, what should we expect also more in the future, Alex, regarding this technology? Like,
Yeah,
where we are heading?
I think they will be more and more realistic. Custom avatars will be much easier to create. So you just add the photo and you have your avatar. Voices also will be much more realistic. You can have your own voice in any language. And the most challenging part here, but still I think it will be in the future, is basically uh, to make avatar talk with emotions. So you can actually manipulate with emotions when avatar is speaking. So where he is like louder, when he moves his head and body according to some scenario. So definitely it's gonna be happening, and in some at some time I think we won't be able to realize where it's a real video or AI based video. So I think this is what's gonna happen someday.
Do you think this avatar, or let's say this AI character, will jump out of the screen one day and we're gonna see kind of a realistic one in front of us, maybe in a form of a VR or extreme reality? Do you think that is possible?
Well, yeah, if we're talking about VR, we already have some integration with the company who actually do like VR screens and they use our avatars. So it's already happening. I think that it's not just something that you're really gonna use. It's not the really wide usage for this technology, right? Because okay, your
Hmm.
VR screens, like where exactly they use right now, it's not that much cases. They use them like IT conferences, maybe somewhere else. So it's not much. But um we'll see. I don't know. It's also involves hardware and developing, right? But it's much harder. So if you're talking about real world, not when you just see the screen, I think it's this part will develop much slower. But we'll see. Like who knows? It's already, if you've seen these robots, they that look like humans, and I don't know what to expect. But definitely, it's gonna be changing as well.
Yeah, the other day someone was asking me, he said, when do you think you're gonna have an avatar on your podcast? Like, and I said, I'm not sure like how fast it could be, because you mentioned hardware, but do you think like it can be, and speaking here about completely video, can it become real time? Like,
Yeah.
can we see it
Yeah.
like I'm chatting to you now, so maybe I will be talking to an Alex, but actually it's not the real Alex. It will be an avatar of Alex.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So OpenAI gives you, for example, live streaming text, and then it
Yeah.
like if you stream, so you can just turn the text into audio, audio into avatar, and it's definitely going to be real time. So I don't know when exactly, but I think in 1 2 years it's already going to be real time. So you can do a podcast with Avatar in a year or two, I think so.
I did it audio perspective, honestly, like a couple of months back. So I used 11 Slap mainly to generate the voice from text, and I acted as if I was asking questions, and I did it this way. So yeah, maybe next time it will be video using your
Yeah, yeah,
technology.
yeah. Yeah, so
And
real time it's pretty close, I'm sure.
yeah, now you mentioned like you of course you have to rely on other technologies and so on. Now one of the things that a lot of people, when I ask them about, of course, you have your own technology, but you are relying on, let's say, OpenAI, right? So, as a CTO, and I think this is one of the things that you need also to consider, how do you make sure that you don't have what we call it a vendor or partner lock in or technology lock in? Because if, let's say, one day and I've seen this not in AI, but in other fields, where, for example, the technology vendor decide all of a sudden. Recently, it happened with Reddit, with Twitter. They decide to change the way they, for example, let people use the APIs, or they try to impose additional cost for that. So, how do you, as a CTO, like have this contingency plan in place and make sure that you can, continue business as usual?
Um, of course, it's the first thing would be, I think, reliability of the partner because good API partners they always like give you time to adapt. Like they say, okay, we're gonna make new version in like 6 months, and this is gonna be different. So make sure you like can adapt. So basically, choosing the proper partner is pretty important. And another thing would be to have a proper infrastructure that can support and you can actually adjust to use other provider fast. For example, we have a pretty solid um, service that basically handles all the text to speech partners. As I said, we have like already 6 of them. And
Mhm.
basically, in this case, we can easily add a new provider or remove. So it's much easier if you have the proper architecture to manage this. And yeah, I think this to think is like the most important things because if you have proper partners, they will give you in advance like the idea of what they're gonna change. And if you have proper architecture, you can easily change your code and add or remove partners and like change to other providers. And of course, if somebody is like making unique technology that nobody else can do, then it's like, tricky thing. But in another way, like if they the only ones, they usually other companies arrays and do the same, right? Because it's
True.
really not really like the common thing when somebody is doing something and nobody else can do it, right? So pretty
Yeah.
much good thing for us as
That's
users of these APIs.
Yeah, but I think in this space, like the race is very hot, and I think everyone like they need to rely on companies that they build products like what you do, Alex. So I think we are in the safe side at least for the coming 5 6 years, I would say. Now,
Yeah.
one thing when I was preparing for today. Um, Congratulations, you have managed to grow this bootstrapping the business. And I always do like this when I see a startup that bootstrap without relying on venture capitalists and large investments. So how did you manage to do that, Alex?
Well, first of all, I can't say that we didn't raise at all. So we had some pretty small rounds initially, I think in the
Angel
beginning of
rounds.
last year, but it was small. Yeah. So we basically now grow. Um, we can say that we bootstrap because now we like earn more than we spent and we basically spend the revenues that we grow. I think that's the key for this would be to focus on your customers and to focus on growth and like to manage your cost properly. So you just see, okay, I have this amount of customers. How can I grow it? So you grow your revenues, and it's definitely a good thing, even if you do the for any business. If it's venture business, it's of course also important because you need to prove that you grow and you need to grow. And for us, it was the key because we've seen specific niches and specific use cases when we help people, and we started to earn from that. We started to give them service. They started to pay us, and we grow it, grow it, grow it, and basically, yeah, it helped us to do it. So focus on your customers, focus on product, and focus on business. So we didn't spend much time on fundraising, on like instead of talking to investors and always trying to raise new round, we focused on growing business, and it gave us the way that we are doing right now. So we feel ourselves pretty safe because we don't rely on venture capital, and it's much makes our business much more stable.
Yeah, like makes sense. Now, what are now the strategies, from both technology and business perspective, like you are trying to implement to expand, the business? And I know, like maybe um, maybe you started, you can tell us more, like have you started to get into new geographies, into new areas? What you can tell us about your future plans?
So yeah, we both are um, growing in terms of like geography. So it's more for our marketing team to decide where to go and how to grow. And from my perspective, I'm more about growing as a product. And basically, we definitely grow all the time and release new features, try new things. And for example, right now we're just releasing photo avatars, which basically pretty cool thing, and we see already a lot of interest in this. So instead of creating avatars from videos, you can create avatar from photo, and it's much easier for. Of course, it's not that realistic as from video, but for many use cases, it works because people don't need to create video. They just need to upload their own photo and then create the videos. So in terms of product, we grow this. We invest in this story feature as well because we see a potential. We see how it's adopted by users. We create photo avatars. We also focus a lot on our enterprise customers as well because they have other types of features that we need. So in terms of geography, we are thinking about as far as I know, looking into South America market because it's growing and seems like it's pretty well adopting avatars technology. In terms of product, it's photo avatars and much more. In the future, we have a pretty big pipeline, hiring actually developers and um, yeah, I don't have an exact list, but it's gonna be lots of new things, definitely.
Th- that's cool. If you allow me to ask, like also here, maybe I should have asked this before, but do you see interest from, because I know you focus B2B, right? But I can go to your website as a single creator and also subscribe. Like, where are you seeing, more interest from customers? Like, is it like people like who are solopreneurs, or let's say single creators, or you are seeing also mass adoption from businesses as well?
I think both. So basically, initially, of course, it was like more B2C creators, just like people who bought some not really big plans and they created videos for themselves, different medias for marketing purposes and educational as well. So like more small businesses, basically. And but as we grow, we also have seen lots of potential in huge customers. We have pretty big uh, customers on our list already, like world famous companies. I cannot say all the names because of NDAs, but it's definitely pretty well adopted by enterprises as well, especially in the sector of education and learning and development. I would say that it's pretty huge, and for us as a business, of course, these enterprise clients are very important because the checks are much bigger. And of course, we see a lot of potential in our API technology. So basically, when we are a partner of somebody else who use us as an API to create videos, and they distribute it in their apps, or even allowing their customers to create content using our avatars. So it's also something that give us huge checks, because in this case, like, they are basically distributing the technology, and we are as a API partner helping them. So we still like um, trying different niches, and we still see potential in both sides. So B2B, big companies, and B2C, like small businesses that create marketing content. And I think that in the future, we're going to also develop both these sectors. So for us, initially it was like more B2C, but now B2B is growing faster, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense also as well. And you need sustainability, and because you need long-term contracts and people who need to use this technology on the long term, rather than me, like I want to play a little bit and create a video for myself. So that's 100% makes sense. Now, you know, as we're coming almost to the end, um, what advice you give to fellow entrepreneurs, with technical or non-technical background, who want to, start their journey? And maybe because now you have this experience with AI, like what you can tell them from your experience.
I think right now with a really good time to start the AI business, because especially in the sector of large language models and these text enhancement things, because it's really something that changed how market is working. It's much more technologies right now that people can use and adopt to businesses. Basically, also generative AI, video to video, text to video. So, for example, generation of video just from scratch, when you just say the prompt and you get the video. So it's definitely a good time to start such business, because the technology is booming right now. And I would say that for now, it's pretty important to have a balance between like the developing the technology, because AI, it's much harder to develop, right? So you need
Right.
to have this balance between creating the technology, having some insight in the technology, and also developing the business itself. So I would suggest to start with, of course, specific business niche, and seeing the needs, yeah, seeing the business that you can sell this technology to, but of course not to forget about developing the technology itself. So try with open source things, and then grow it to some like extended business. So definitely, if you create startup, the first thing is customers and your product that fits to some specific business. That's, I think, my biggest advice. And after that comes after. Yeah.
Yeah, great advice actually. And I can say, like, you are a success story, Alex, what you've done, and the company and your achievements, of course. Now, usually this is why I keep a space to my guests at the end, where I ask, is there anything that you wished I have asked you? And feel free to answer it.
You mean mm,
Anything you wish I have asked you that I didn't? Is there any question you wish that I had asked you?
oh, I wasn't prepared for that, but I think you did ask, because I was thinking about large language models and all this space of like creating videos that interact with large language models, and we pretty much covered that. And also about Bootstrapped and like my advice. So I think I'm pretty clear with anything
Okay.
I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alex. Like I try to, cover all the angles, of course, but I'm not perfect as well. So this is why I like to ask the guests. So maybe there's something that they wanted to say, or maybe where they can find more. Of course, I gonna put all the links, but tell us like where they can find more about you and the company.
Yeah, it's like my LinkedIn profile, and about the company, of course, it's our website, eli.io. So it's pretty much that's it, because on the website we have everything. It's like our entry point to our business. And on LinkedIn, of course, it's like everybody's using this, so I'm there. And yeah, sorry, it's also actually my first podcast ever, so maybe I'm also not well prepared, but
No, 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 no. You did perfect. Don't worry.
okay, okay, great. So yeah, basically it's LinkedIn and our website. I'm happy to chat if you drop me a message.
Sure. Thank you very much, Alex. I will make sure that I will drop both the company and your LinkedIn profile in the episode description. And, thank you very much for your time today. And the way I like to end my episodes is to go to the audience and tell them, please, guys, let me know your feedback. Keep them coming. I'm receiving a lot of messages recently. So I'm very happy about, all the feedback you are giving to me. And thank you very much for being loyal audience. And as usual, also, if you're interested, like Alex was a guest today, if you want to be on the show and tell us about a cool startup that you are in now, or maybe you want to share your experience about anything related to tech and entrepreneurship, feel free to reach out to me and we will make an arrangement and we can record the episode together. So thank you very much for tuning in. We will meet again very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Mehmet.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.